Hello everyone, in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a health bar for character that shows the character's health with progress bar and also percent. And as you can see, I can decrease or increase health using debug buttons, and I also show you how to create these health pickups that heals character when it's overlapped by your character. Alright, as you can see, this is final result of this tutorial. Alright, first I'm going to show you some of the assets that I'm going to use in this tutorial. I have downloaded this HP bar collection from FreePic and I have exported some layers from it. First one is this HP background, which actually is an empty health bar, and this one is my health bar that is filled, and I have also exported this heart image. Okay, now I'm going to create my HUD widget. I right click in content browser, from user interface I create a widget blueprint. I click on user widget and I name it HUD dash widget. Alright, now I open it up. First I at the canvas panel I search here canvas panel, I place it here. Now I search for progress bar and I also add it to here. Now I click on my progress bar, which is here. I first set the position, I bring it in, I place it in left down corner of canvas panel, and I scale it a little up. Okay, and finally I click on this anchor point and place it here. Alright, now I select my progress bar, and as you can see here in style section I can set an image for background image. So I click here and search for my HP BG, which is actually background of my progress bar, and for fill image I set HP fill. Alright, now here I search for percentage, and as you can see percentage is currently is 0, and if I increase it, as you can see my health bar starts filling, but the color is blue, and I'm going to show you how to fix it. Here in appearance section we have fill color and opacity. I click on it and I set it on white. If you set this on white, it uses the original color of the health bar. Okay, now I here search for image, I add it here. Okay, I place it exactly here, and here in bright section I search for my heart image. Alright, I fix the scale and okay, place it here, and I also place anchor point on the center of this image. Alright, this heart image is just decorative and doesn't do anything specific. Now I compile and open up my third person character blueprint. Alright, now I want to create some variables for health. I delete these nodes first. Okay, here I from variable section I hit plus and create a variable and name it health and set variable type to float. And I also create a category for my variable to keep everything organized. Here I in category section I for example write HP, which creates a category for my variable, and from now on I place all of the variables that are related to health system, I place them all in HP category. Now I create another variable and name it max health. Alright, and I set category to HP. Okay, now I compile and set max health to for example 100 and also health to 50. Okay, now I compile and go back to my widget blueprint. I also add a text, add this here. Okay, I add my text here and I place it on my HP bar. I'm going to use this text block for showing my health by percent. Okay, alright, first I select my progress bar and here I search for percent, and here in this icon I can bind values to this percentage. Okay, now first I click on binding, I click on create binding, and here first I open event graph, and from this event construct I drag a node and cast to my character, which is in this case is third person character. Okay, for object wildcard I add get player character. Okay, now I promote it to a variable and name it character ref. Okay, now I go back to this graph to binding for get percent, and I drag and drop my character reference variable. I drag a node and get health. I drag another node and search for get max health. Alright, now I drag a node, add a divide node and connect result to return value. So my health will be shown as percent by this progress bar. Now I compile and I now go back to my third person character blueprint. From event begin play I drag a node and search for create widget. Alright, for class I search for my HUD widget, and also I promote return value to a variable and I name it HUD ref. Okay, and now from here I drag another node and search for add to viewport. Now compile and run the game. As you can see, my health bar is displayed on the screen. Now I'm going to set value for this text block. Okay, so I open my HUD widget again and I go back to designer section. Alright, now select my text block and here search for binding. In content section, text, I here click on binding, create a new binding, and now again I drag and drop my my character reference. Get my character reference first. I get health. Okay, now I add a multiply node and time it by 100. Now I get my max health. Okay, max health is here and connect it to, I drag a node and add a divide node, search for divide. Okay, connect this one here, and finally I add a clamp float. Alright, I set minimum to 0 and maximum to 100. Alright, now I connect return value to here. It will be automatically converted to text from float to text. Now I compile and run the game. Alright, as you can see, now my maximum health is actually 100 and also my current health is 50. And now I make some changes here. I open my third person character blueprint and set, for example, max health to a bigger number, for example 300, and now I compile and progress bar is working perfectly, but I have some problem with these decimal numbers in my percent text. Now I'm going to fix it. Okay, now I open my HUD widget. I go to graph and here I added a clamp float. Now I just remove it and I connect this to a round node. Alright, that returns me an integer, so now I connect this integer to a return value. Okay, now this decimal numbers issue is fixed, and now I'm going to add some debug keys for increasing health. I have made this here that if I press debug key number 1, first it checks that distance between max health and current health is bigger or equal to 10, and also for true it adds 10 number to my health. For false it adds the distance, actually the absolute value of distance between health and max health to the health. Okay, now I run the game again here, and as you can see, if I press 1, my health increases. And now I open my HUD widget from designer section. I change the location of this text box. Location is okay. I just drag the anchor point here, and I also add another text. I add another text here. Okay. In text block, I only print here, text block, I print a percent sign, and I also drag anchor here. Now if I compile, okay, I should just change the position of this text here. I drag it here, also drag anchor point. Okay. It's not. Okay, now the place of both text are okay, and now I'm going to show you how to create some health pickup item. As you can see here, I have a peel mesh. Now I create a new blueprint class in type of actor, and I name it peel underscore BP. I open it up. Now I add a static mesh here. Here I search for my peel mesh, place it here, decrease the scale to 0.07. Alright. Now I also set the collision preset of this mesh to overlap all. And I also add a sphere collision. Okay, now I increase the scale to 20. Okay. Now I select my sphere collision and search for on component begin overlap. On component begin overlap event, I create this event. First I cast to third person character, my character. I can connect object to the other actor, and now I promote it to a variable and I name it character ref. Okay. Now I first get my health, and also I get max health. Alright, now I check they are equal or not, and I add a not boolean node, and finally I add a branch node. This branch actually checks that health is at maximum state or not. Okay, now I from true section, first I get my character ref, I get my health and max health, get health, max health. Okay, now I subtract them. Now I get absolute value, search for apps, which is actually absolute value, and now I check if this is greater or equal to 25. I add another branch node here. Okay, this branch actually checks that distance between maximum health and current health is greater or equal to 25 or not. And for true, first I set my health here, set health, search for set health, and connect to the section here. Okay, and I also get my health again. I get health and add it to 25. And finally I add the print string node and set it to heal. I write heal in a string. And okay, now for false, I get my character reference here and set health. Okay, I connect false here, and now I check. I get my health and also max health. Now I subtract them. Get absolute value. Now I get my health and add it to this one. Okay, and now I connect it here, and I add a print string node, and I set limited heal. Okay, this function actually prevents health to become bigger than maximum health. If the distance between health and maximum health be greater than 25, it normally heals character by 25. But if this distance is below this number, for false section, it only fills the distance between health and max health. Okay, now I place my pill in the scene. Okay, now if I alright, but I forgot to add this reactor node here. I add this reactor here and also here. Okay, so this will be removed after picked up by character. I create some duplicates and place it in the scene. Alright, okay, and you can also add another debug key, for example here, for subtracting health if you want. I leave it to you. And okay, If this tutorial was useful for you, please like this video and subscribe my channel. Thank you.